Right now, at this very moment, a once-in-a-generation multi-hazard storm system is striking the United States on three separate fronts simultaneously. Last night, tornadoes threatened southern Illinois and Indiana. Overnight, more than 8 inches of snow are forecast to bury central Iowa, including Des Moines. And a nor'easter is building offshore that could bury New York City, Boston, and Philadelphia by Sunday night. This is not one storm. This is 3 disasters unfolding at the same time. In the next few minutes, you will get the exact hour-by-hour breakdown for your specific region. Not general information, exact times. When the danger starts, when it peaks, and when it ends for the Midwest, the Gulf Coast, the Northeast, and every area in between. And here is what nobody else is covering right now. There is a second major threat building for early next week that forecasters are just beginning to warn about. We will get to that. But first, you need to understand how dangerous the next 72 hours truly are for tens of millions of Americans from the Gulf Coast all the way to Maine. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma issued a Level 3 out of 5. Enhanced risk, the highest active severe weather designation in the country last night, covering southeast Illinois into southern Indiana. That is not a routine watch. Dew points near 60 degrees in the middle of February. Storm energy exceeding 1,000 joules per kilogram. A low-pressure system that deepened to 990 millibars as it tracked from northern Missouri into northwest Illinois and eastern Iowa overnight and is still strengthening this morning. But that was not the worst of it. AccuWeather is reporting the possibility of up to 24 inches of snow in parts of northern Nebraska and off Lake Superior in Michigan. The National Weather Service has issued winter storm warnings stretching from Nebraska through Iowa all the way into Wisconsin. Wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour have been reported from the Rockies to the Plains through Thursday and into Friday. And temperatures east of the Mississippi River have been running 30 to 40 degrees above normal, the kind of temperature contrast that does not just make storms, it makes historic ones. Here is what nobody else is telling you. This storm is not just dangerous because of any single threat. It is dangerous because the warm sector feeding last night's tornadoes and the cold sector driving the blizzard exist less than 300 miles apart. That gap is still closing. If you live anywhere from Omaha to Cincinnati to Boston, pay very close attention to what comes next. The situation is not over, not even close. To understand why this storm is so different, you need to understand the science behind what happened last night and what is still unfolding right now. A deep mid-latitude cyclone, a low-pressure system, rotating counterclockwise, tracked northeastward from northern Missouri into northwest Illinois and eastern Iowa, by midnight, deepening to 990 millibars as it moved. Think of it like a giant spinning engine that pulls warm, moist Gulf air into its front side and Arctic Canadian air into its backside. Last night, that engine was running at full power. At the triple point where the low-pressure center, the warm front, and the cold front and dry line all converged, the atmosphere was wired for maximum rotation. That is exactly where the tornado threat was most concentrated across southeast Illinois into southern Indiana. The low-level jet stream peaked in the hours just after sunset, feeding those rotating supercell thunderstorms the energy they needed. After 10 p.m. Central Time Thursday, the severe threat ended as storms moved east away from the moisture and storm energy, downgrading to plain thunderstorms with heavy rain and small hail across the southern Great Lakes region. No tornado risk remained after that window. On the backside of this same system, Arctic air is colliding with Gulf moisture right now and producing the blizzard conditions across Iowa, Nebraska, and Wisconsin. Could this system have been communicated more clearly to residents across all 3 impact zones simultaneously? That is a question worth raising. Right now, drop your city and state in the comments below. Tell us where you are watching from, whether you are in the storm aftermath zone, the snow zone, or preparing for the nor'easter this weekend. Thousands of viewers are already doing this and getting specific updates for their location. Do not wait. Type your location now. Here is your critical timeline. Pay close attention to your region. Starting with where the severe weather struck. Last night, February 19th, scattered supercell thunderstorms developed across southern Illinois beginning at 6 p.m. Central Time, moving into southern and central Indiana through 8, 9, and 10 p.m. The EF2 or greater tornado threat was highest between 9 and 10 p.m. Central, specifically from Effingham, Illinois, eastward through the Bloomington area and into Evansville, Indiana. After 10 p.m. Central, the tornado threat ended. Storms transitioned to plain thunderstorms with heavy rain, small hail, and cloud-to-ground lightning across the southern Great Lakes. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall fell in very short windows, raising flash flooding concerns near creeks and low-lying areas across southeastern Illinois, southern Indiana, and western Ohio through midnight. This morning, Friday, February 20th, those post-frontal storms are winding down east of the Ohio Valley. Indianapolis, your morning commute will see lingering rain and slick roads. Plan for delays. Now the winter storm zone, and this is where conditions are critical right now. Des Moines, Iowa, listen carefully. Heavy snow is forecast to exceed 8 inches before this is over, with the heaviest band falling along the Highway 20 corridor. Gusty winds are creating near-zero visibility on secondary roads. Do not drive unless absolutely necessary. Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska, heavy snow and blowing and drifting are making roads extremely dangerous this morning. Madison, Wisconsin, your wintry mix of sleet and freezing rain transitions to snow. Green Bay, you are looking at 6 to 12 inches before this system exits. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan faces the same range. For the Friday evening commute, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, Cleveland, and Toledo visibility will drop quickly Friday afternoon and evening, potentially under 1/4 mile in localized areas as the storm system passes through the Great Lakes. Plan ahead. Do not wait until you are already on the road. The Sierra Nevada mountains in California are seeing several feet of snow right now. The Four Corners region, Flagstaff, northwestern New Mexico, Utah, and western Colorado west of Denver is getting heavy mountain snow through the weekend. Now, the East Coast. This is the story that is still developing. Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, here is your weekend situation. A nor'easter is developing offshore and the track remains uncertain. The National Weather Service confirmed as of Thursday morning that there is a strong signal for an intensifying low-pressure system off the mid-Atlantic coast, Sunday into Monday, February 22nd and 23rd. The Fox Forecast Center says all scenarios remain on the table from a near miss that tracks out to sea to a major nor'easter. Several AI forecast models are signaling a powerful snow event Sunday night into Monday. The European model has recently trended the storm more offshore, but the Weather Prediction Center still has heavy snow, high winds, and significant waves on the forecast maps for Sunday and Monday. The forecast will sharpen significantly within the next 24 hours. Do not assume you are safe. Prepare now. Let us stop and think about what this actually means for the people living through this right now. In southern Indiana last night, families received tornado warnings on their phones at 9 p.m. and again near 10 p.m. Central Time. Parents woke their children, pulled them into interior rooms and hallways, away from windows listening for the roar. The EF2 or greater threat was real and active for nearly 4 hours across a corridor stretching from Effingham, Illinois through Evansville, Indiana. These were not routine thunderstorms. These were isolated supercell storms, the kind that can produce violent rotation with almost no additional warning once they organize. Scattered storm reports confirmed rotation and structural damage in portions of that zone. In central Iowa, snowplow crews worked through the night on roads that kept filling in faster than they could be cleared. Snow forecast to exceed 8 inches, with gusty winds creating near zero visibility. Temperatures dropping. Morning commuters facing buried driveways and impassable secondary roads. Schools across the Des Moines Metro and the Highway 20 corridor announced closures. The Iowa Department of Transportation issued widespread dangerous road condition alerts. Remember those temperature anomalies, 30 to 40 degrees above normal east of the Mississippi? That contrast is not just a number. It means a family in Mobile, Alabama, is stepping outside into 80-degree February weather today, while 300 miles northwest, a farmer in Iowa cannot see the end of his driveway. That temperature gradient across 300 miles is what powered last night's storms, and it is not done yet. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. The National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, and AccuWeather do not issue simultaneous active warnings across 15 states without cause. And here's the part that should concern you most heading into this weekend. Millions of people along the Northeast Corridor, Philadelphia through New York City to Boston, are about to make decisions about weekend travel and family visits. Many of them do not yet know a potentially major coastal storm is less than 60 hours away. If you know someone in those cities, share this video right now. They need to see this before Saturday. If you are in any affected area, the storm aftermath zone, the snow belt, or the Northeast coast, drop your location in the comments. Tell me where you are and what conditions look like outside your window right now. I am reading every comment and will respond with the most specific update I can for your area. Here is the important part that affects everyone, not just those in the storm's direct path. This is not just a weather event. We are looking at highway closures, dangerous travel conditions, airport disruptions, and potential power outages all happening simultaneously across more than a dozen states at once. 3 overlapping disaster zones, 1 storm system. Interstate 80 through Nebraska and Iowa is reporting near zero visibility stretches this morning. Secondary roads across Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan are effectively impassable in multiple counties. The National Weather Service has explicitly warned that strong winds, heavy snow, and ice may result in power outages across the northern tier of states, and those outages, once they begin in below freezing temperatures, become life-threatening situations for elderly residents within hours. Airports in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and Minneapolis are reporting significant delays, with conditions expected to worsen through Friday evening as the storm system tracks through the Great Lakes. If you have a flight this weekend to Philadelphia, New York, or Boston, do not assume it will operate normally. A nor'easter scenario could begin impacting flight operations as early as Saturday evening. But here is what most people are not yet thinking about. The same cold air pushing south and east behind this system will send temperatures across the southeast into a dramatic freefall by Sunday. Orlando, Tampa, and Miami are forecast to reach record highs in the 80s and possibly low 90s on Saturday, record territory for mid-February in Florida. But by Monday, February 23rd, a powerful cold air intrusion will push temperatures across the eastern United States down into the teens and 20s across the northern plains, with single digits possible across North Dakota and northern Minnesota by Monday morning. Wind chills below zero are forecast for Iowa and Nebraska that same day. Stores will be stocked today. By Saturday morning in the Northeast, shelves for storm supplies may not be. Do it now while you still can. Federal, state, and local emergency management agencies activated operations across multiple states beginning Wednesday, February 18th, when the National Weather Service issued the first round of winter storm warnings, stretching from the Rockies into the Midwest. By Thursday evening, those warnings had expanded to cover Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Michigan, with the NWS office in Gaylord, Michigan specifically warning of more than 10 inches of snow across northern, lower, and eastern upper Michigan. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, issued the enhanced risk designation for severe weather Thursday afternoon, placing emergency managers across southeast Illinois and southern Indiana on high alert for the EF2 or greater tornado threat during the 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. central window. Emergency notification systems in those counties activated. Shelter information was distributed. In Iowa, the Department of Transportation deployed hundreds of snowplow crews beginning Thursday afternoon as the rain-to-snow changeover accelerated. School districts and businesses across Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City began announcing closures Thursday evening as forecast models confirmed the heaviest snow band would track directly through the Highway 20 corridor. Here is the question worth raising. As of today, the nor'easter threat to the northeast coast on Sunday and Monday is real, but the track remains uncertain enough that officials have not yet issued major warnings for New York City or Boston. Were the nor'easter communication and preparation timelines adequate, given that the storm window is now less than 60 hours away? That is a question millions of residents along the I-95 corridor may be asking by Monday morning. And the answer will depend heavily on decisions made in the next 24 hours by the National Weather Service and state emergency management offices in New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Here is the important part about what this moment means going forward. What we are witnessing this week is not an isolated event. It is the signature of a weather pattern in transition. The United States is currently shifting from La Niña to neutral ENSO conditions, a change in the large-scale ocean atmosphere system that drives winter weather across the country. When that transition happens, the subtropical jet stream consolidates and strengthens, pumping massive amounts of moisture from the eastern Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico into the Mississippi River Valley. What that means in plain language is this: the active weather pattern we are experiencing this week is not ending. Long-range forecast models, both the European and the GFS, are showing frequent cold fronts, accumulating snow, and dynamic storm systems tracking across the Pacific Northwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast through the February 23rd to March 2nd window. The Cascades next week replace the Sierras as the focal point for heavy mountain snow, and the Appalachians into West Virginia are in the forecast zone for accumulating snow during that same period. But here is what nobody else is telling you yet. The long-range pattern through early March supports a marginal to slight risk of severe weather across the southeast, primarily wind and hail threats. And further into March, as the ENSO transition deepens, the Mississippi River Valley faces an elevated risk of dynamic storm systems with tornado and heavy rainfall potential stretching from the mid and lower Mississippi Valley into the Ohio River Valley. This is not a prediction of a specific event. It is a pattern signal, and it is one that demands attention. A full extended outlook covering the February 23rd to March 2nd window will be available early next week. Subscribe now so you do not miss it. My spring forecast will also be released in the coming days. You now have information that most people in the affected areas do not yet have. Share this video with someone you know in the snow zone or along the northeast coast. They need to see this before the weekend. Drop your city and state in the comments right now. Tell us where you are watching from, or tell us what the weather looks like outside your window so others can see what is happening on the ground. Thousands of people are already doing this. Do not wait. One final question worth thinking about. With tornado warnings, blizzard conditions, and a potential nor'easter all unfolding within 72 hours of each other, do you feel like the warning system in your area gave you enough time to actually prepare? Tell us below.